Hi, everybody. Welcome to Speaking Holistically. I'm your co host, Amy G. I'm here with my amazing co host, Dr. Jen. How are you today?
I'm fabulous. Thanks, Amy.
Good, good. So, we are doing a simple swap episode today, and we're talking about coffee. So, I'm sure all kinds of people are going to want to hear this episode. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I know you are, and most of the world is. So, what do you have for us today?
So we're going to talk about, well, there's a couple of different things. It's basically we're just going to go through coffee and some other options. So we'll talk about regular coffee, and a lot of people are using these pods
Hmm.
that have plastic with the aluminum top and then hot water going through them. And so now it's potentially picking up the aluminum from the lid and whatever's in those plastics, which everybody keeps changing and saying, "Oh no, this is healthy. This is healthy." So, so being careful with that with these cups here. There are other ones that have netting. Some of them are bleached and some of them are not. So that's one way to switch from this to this if you're still going to do the pods, because this advice is kind of across the board for everybody. There's some people who are way past this point, other people this is a new concept for them. So I just want to make sure that we're activating everybody's minds as far as this goes. And some people can go from this to this and other people can't go from this to this. So we'll talk about that as well. Other people are still using coffee pots, which can be great, but those filters still, a lot of them are bleached. So they're putting their coffee grounds in there, putting the hot water through that bleached filter, which can be an issue too long term. So one of the safer ways of managing this is actually using this. This is called a French press. And what it does is it's got a whole host of like apparatuses in here. And I'm not going to go into the horrible sounds it makes with the stainless steel scratching. But basically, you put the water in there, you put your coffee grounds in there for like 4 minutes, and your coffee's ready. It has stainless steel filters and stuff like that, but there's no filters that you need to buy. There's no chemicals in it. It's literally stainless steel. So you want to make sure it's stainless steel and not aluminum. Glass is fine, but none of the other metals, basically.
Metals. Hmm.
Yeah. So that is one thing. The other thing is a lot of people are drinking decaffeinated coffee, which can be fine, but they definitely use chemicals in most decaffeinated coffees. So I like to call it formaldehyde enriched. They don't actually use formaldehyde anymore, but they do use different chemicals just like everything else. Oh no, that's not in it anymore, but then they've used something else that's just as detrimental. So this company is called Beaniac, and it is a Swiss water process decaffeinated coffee. And you can get it or any other Swiss water processed coffee on the internet or even maybe at a local store, but it has to say Swiss water processed. What happens is they soak the coffee beans in hot water to extract the caffeine, and they will actually filter the solution through activated charcoal to remove the caffeine. And this is repeated until the coffee is 99% or 99.9% caffeine free.
Wow.
But yeah, but it retains its original coffee flavor and it doesn't use any solvents. It's kosher and it's halal. So it's safe for anyone who has religious, needs. So that's also, important for a lot of people. But the fact that it doesn't have any solvents, so you're not getting chemicals every time you do decaffeinated coffee thinking you're doing yourself good because you're not drinking the caffeine, but now it's being replaced with these solvents, these chemicals.
This is really interesting. My mom is a decaf coffee drinker daily. This will be eye-opening for her for sure. She has a regular caffeinated coffee, a cup of coffee in the morning, and then she'll have a decaf one later in the day. But I guarantee she has no idea how they get the caffeine out of the coffee bean, which naturally has caffeine in it. And I don't think most people think about that. They just don't think about how are they getting the caffeine out of here. And I think people will be very surprised to learn that they're using chemicals to do so. So I think the Swiss water processing sounds amazing. Obviously, it takes more time than using chemicals, and that's why these big companies are using chemicals because it's faster. But I love the recommendation for the Beaniac. I'll definitely be sharing that with my mom. What's interesting is when you mentioned the filters when we were talking about regular coffee, that and saying they're bleached, and you're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, of course, the water runs through the bleached filter through the coffee, and that water lands in your coffee mug and you drink it, and that's going to have traces of that bleach. So That is such an excellent point to make. And I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's not something, again, just people aren't thinking about that.
Well, I mean, and even some of these are bleached, and then you've got the plastic, you have the chemical upon the chemical, then you've got the decaf that's chemically processed instead of the Swiss water. And people ask me, how do I know it's Swiss water processed? I said, oh, it'll brag about it. Like if it doesn't say it on there, you're not getting that, And then so then it goes through, or the filter in the coffee pot, it goes through that. You've got the chemicals from that. And then we put these creamers that are definitely not creamers, People go, oh, do you want half and half? I'm like, is it actually half milk and half cream? Because if it's not, if there's other things in it, or if it's sitting in a little packet on the table at the restaurant, it is full of chemicals. You just keep adding chemical upon chemical upon chemical. And this is an easy swap to start decreasing the amount of chemicals we're exposed to.
I love the simplicity of this. I think that it's just something easy, right? And a lot of people are not big fans of doing the K cups. Like they don't like it, but I guarantee there are listeners that are going to hear this that don't even know that they have the mesh like netting option. They just think, well, I have a Keurig and I'm not going to throw it out. So I guess I'm just stuck with buying these K cups all the time. That alone is an incredibly helpful tip for people.
Well, and also people who do have, the Keurig machines or Nespresso or whatever it is, I mean, that needs to be checked for mold because a lot of people will use it and close it back up and don't realize it's trapping all of that in there. And there might be a reason that those machines are black so that you can't see anything potentially going in there. And people have ripped them apart and found mold. Other people ripped them apart and did not. So, you've got to be regularly cleaning that machine out. They actually have those little pods for cleaning as well. And there's other ways that you can do it. So definitely check that too, because once again, now you're getting the bleach, the chemicals from the decaffeinated coffee, and now you're getting mold, and then people don't understand why they're getting sick, or they have mold exposure and they think it's their house, or they think it's this, and it could actually be coming from your coffee machine. So that's why this is so amazing. It takes 5 seconds to clean. It literally, you pour hot water in it, pour your, coffee grounds in there, and 4 minutes you've got coffee that has no chemicals in it.
And I would think that the coffee would taste fresher. You're getting freshly ground coffee from wherever you're getting it from, and then you're putting it right into that French press. And so it's fresher than something that's sitting in a K cup on a shelf in a grocery store for God knows how long.
Not for months to years, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just those little things, though, can make such a huge difference. I mean, if you made that not one decision, because this is multiple decisions, but it can be just one decision for one person. It can be 5 steps for another person. But then suddenly they're like, oh my gosh, I am feeling better because they're not using their moldy K-cup machine or whatever, or getting the aluminum through the lid or the plastic or the bleach or whatever. Just decreasing a whole host, maybe 5 or 6 chemicals just by making one different choice.
Yeah. These are such great tips, and I hope listeners, heed the advice and make the changes because it's all for your health, right? That's what it's all about. So,
well, and I tell people you can get old or you can grow older. And really, it's all about how we're taking care of ourselves. And every little decision, every little choice that we make does have an impact on our body, and it is cumulative. They go, oh, well, it's just this. Oh, it's just that. And I'm like, yeah, well, if you do that 15 times a day and then you wonder why you don't feel well, start paying attention because it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Our bodies are the only home we get to inhabit while we're here on this earth. That's the only place we get to live. So
take care. You can be miserable or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, thank you, Dr. Jen. This has been very educational, and I hope a lot of people make these coffee swaps and get healthier in the process. Thanks everybody for listening. You can join our school community. I'll put the link in the show notes below. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're everywhere. So please come join us. Thanks everybody. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.